All right, testing, testing. You guys hear me? There it is. Can you guys hear me? All right, testing, testing. Perfect. You guys can hear me. Sweet. I know Ambus is always right there to know that I'm going to say testing, testing. What's going on, brother? All right, so you guys can see, we can see the charts. You can see the live trades I'm in right now. Because remember, we don't do no FOMO, homo trading. We do live trading here in live accounts. No hiding behind trading view, no hiding behind anything, because we're not pussies, right? I tell you guys that all the time, but we're not pussies, so we don't hide behind trading view. What you see right here is a live account with live trades in it, because I'm not afraid of that, because we're not pussies. Only pussies do that, right? Okay, so we'll go to gold first. I'm going to look at gold. Gold, we're tapping up right against this level here on gold at 1765 area, just a little bit above, right here from the two previous times it hit, correct? So we're trying to hit that, we're trying to break that level. We haven't been able to yet, but you can see that level has been tapped a couple times, and it's being tapped right now. And like I generally say, the more times you hit that area, the weaker that area becomes. So I do anticipate that gold will break to the upside, but it may not, right? I mean, we can only trade probabilities. We don't know for sure. If we knew for sure, like I've been saying in that gold chat room, all of us would do a full margin buy, right? So none of us know for sure what it's going to do, but that area has now been touched 3 times. And the more times it gets touched, that area gets touched, the weaker that area becomes. So I anticipate that it's going to break, but that doesn't mean it's going to. Okay, hold on a second. But I anticipate that it will, right? Oh, there we go. Will, because I plan on adding to buy positions if it goes lower. Does that make sense? So I'm not adding a stop loss to it because I plan to add to buy positions if it goes lower. Does that make sense? So why would I put a stop loss on this position that I have in right now if I plan to add to positions lower, if that makes sense? I'm a swing trader. I'm not a scalper. So I don't mind having multiple positions on. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. But we've hit this level 3 times. The more times this level hits, the weaker this level becomes. If we get past this 1765 area, then you have to go to the next chart because I don't really see the next resistance level. So you go to 4-hour chart. And if we get past this 1765 level, your next levels are 1780 really. Okay, so if we can cleanly break this area here, maybe 1779 area right there, somewhere in this area here would be your next resistance level. We could be, like I said, Luke, we don't know for sure. If I knew for sure what was going to happen, I would go full margin, right? We don't know for sure what's going to happen. But as you can see, if we get past this 1765 level cleanly, then the next levels of resistance are from when? September 22nd at 1784, 1782, 1784, somewhere in there, right? So what we want to see happen right now, if we were looking to buy gold again, if we wanted to, I should say if I wanted to buy gold, I don't really give a damn what anyone else does, right? If I wanted to buy gold again, what would have to happen is it would have to break this level right here, right, at 1764. It would have to break this point at 1764 by a decent amount, pull back to this level at 1764, give me a rejection candle, and then I could buy it back up to the 1781 area up in here. Does that make sense to everybody? So in order for me to buy again, it would have to break above by a decent amount because I want to make sure it's not a false breakout, right? It would have to break up, pull back, and then give me a rejection candle back down here at 1764. Then I would go to the next level. And what do I mean by a rejection candle? To me, a rejection candle would be, if I want to buy, this is a perfect candle right here that I'm circling. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, you see that candle that I'm circling right now? That candle has a tail at the bottom, longer than the body of the candle. It has no wick at the top of the candle. That to me is a rejection candle. This is another one, right? That signifies that sellers tried to push down below and were rejected, correct? That's what that signifies. So in order for me to buy this, it would have to break above 1764, pull back to 1764, and then give me this kind of pattern, this kind of candlestick right there on the 1 hour. And I won't do it unless there's a 1 hour candle close. So I only take trades at the close of hourly candles. So again, it would have to break above 1764, pull back to 1764, and give me that candle with that tail longer than the body at the close of the hour. So up, break above, pull back with rejection. Yes. So those candles signify that sellers tried to push and that there was some buying momentum or buying pressure that came into the market right there. Okay, and I tell this to everybody that I talk to, but some of you guys are new. And yeah, so sells would be the opposite, right? It would just be the opposite. It would be a wick at the top. I call it a wick, right? At the top, longer than the body of the candle with no tail. That would be the sell. But don't just take my word for it, okay? I'm just some schmuck on the internet. I've been doing this for 17 years, but don't take my word for it. Go back test it. I promise you, that pattern, that simple pattern right there works 85% of the time over the long run. It works on any time frame, any pair. Does everyone understand what I'm saying there? And don't take my word for it. Please don't take my word for it. Go fucking backtest it. Right? Backtest that pattern. Circle every time you have a wick or a tail longer than the body and backtest it. Don't take my word for it. Like I said, I'm just some schmuck on the internet. Go backtest it. Do the homework, right? We always talk about in that gold chat room, do the homework. That's part of doing the homework, studying those patterns, right? Do the fucking homework. You're not entitled to anything. You're not entitled to people to tell you what you should do. And the biggest thing I hate about that room is when people come in and say, is it a buy or sell? And I say, look at your damn charts. What do your charts tell you? You're never going to be successful over the long run trading if you're asking people if it's a buy or sell, right? Go look at your damn charts. Look at your damn charts. The charts will tell you everything. The candles will tell you everything. That's why I don't need indicators. Why? Because indicators lag price. The candlesticks don't lag price, do they? Do the candlesticks lag price? Yes or no? Do the candlesticks lag price? Yes or no? The candlestick we're looking at on the 1 hour chart, right? Oh, that's the 4 hour, excuse me. Do the candlesticks lag price? Yes or no? Anybody? I always say Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Do the candlesticks lag price? No, of course not. The candlesticks are the leading indicator. That's why I will never use indicators, because they're complete shit. And I don't care which one it is. I don't care if it's RSI. I don't care if it's MACD. I don't care if it's any of them. They're complete dog shit. Okay, so, and the question I always ask, especially the Fibonacci traders, because that's the one I hate the most. I always ask, and we'll draw one right here, but I hate them. I always ask the Fibonacci traders, which level is the more important level? Because you have massive amounts of Fibbo levels, right? You have the 38 whatever, you have the 50, you have the 61.8, you have the 78.6. Which one is more important? And they'll never answer that question. There's a Fibbo level every 5 seconds, is basically what I'm saying. There's a Fibbo level every 5 seconds. Okay? It's just not reliable. And they'll say, well, it bounced off the 61.8. Well, that's because it was a simple support and resistance level. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was a 61.8. It had to do with the fact that it was at a simple support level. But ambitious is always here. So tell me again, from the Fibbo traders, I just want to know which level is more important. 38.2, 50, 61.8, 78.6, the 127 extension. What one is more important? Because there's one every 5 pips. So that's why it's just they're garbage. They lag price. You don't need anything other than. You don't need, see, that's the first time I've ever heard 70.5. They lag price. You don't need anything other than this candle. Now, let me ask you this next question. Now that we're doing real trading here and not that stuff. Do you see anything in this candle so far? It opened 20 minutes ago. Is there anything in this candle right here on the 1 hour candle that's forming right now that tells you that sellers are starting to come into the market? Is there anything in this candle that's forming right now that tells you that sellers are coming into the market? Anything? Is there anything that tells you that? Not really, right now, right? Nothing. Nothing tells me that sellers are coming. Now, it doesn't mean that sellers aren't going to come into the market and it's going to go down. It's not going to go down. But right now, as I look at it, nothing in this candle tells me that. So why bother? So why bother selling until the candles show us, like this candle right here. Look at this perfect one right here. That was at the close of the 1 hour candle, right? Look at that perfect one right there. That showed us at the end of the 1 hour candle that sellers had come into the market. You could have sold that and done really well. But right now, there's no sign of sellers. So why sell? Plus, for me, it's 5:20 in the evening. And I won't take a trade anyway until 40 minutes from now, because I don't take trades unless it's the close of the 1 hour. That doesn't mean, again, it does not mean that it can't go down, right? I'm not saying gold can't go down. I'm saying that right now I see no signs of sellers, so I wouldn't sell. Does that make sense? I see no signs of sellers. And the other thing is if I'm in a buy and I'm up 40 points or whatever you want to call it, and I get the sell signal, it doesn't mean I sell because I'm already in a winning trade, right? I'm in a winning trade right now from 1759.94. If I get the sell signal, I'm not going to take my buy trade out. I'm up 40, 41, 42 points. I'm going to move my stop to break even or profit, but why would I reverse a winning trade for a potentially winning trade? So the only time that I won't take the sell signal, even if it says to sell, is when I'm already in a trade and I'm up. Does that make sense? I'll just place my stops at, break even or place my stops in profit, but I'm not taking this buy out. The market's going to have to get me out of this buy. And then if I get out of buys and I'm flat and I get a sell signal, sure, I can sell it, but I'm not selling it right now because it makes no sense to me. I'm up 40 points on the buy. Does that make sense to everybody? It's really, really simple. Now, if you can align the pattern, right? If you can align the pattern with the higher time frame charts, then obviously you want to trade with the trend, right? If you can. I consider the higher time frame charts the 4 hour and above, right? Right? I consider the higher time frames to be the 4 hour chart and above. Okay? So if I look at the 4 hour chart here, is it higher or lower than when it started on the 4 hour chart? If I circle those two things. I have before, A-Rod, yeah. Is it higher or lower than when I circled these two? Oh, that one you can't see, so let's do it right here. Is it higher or lower? From where you guys can see it. Let me circle another one here. Is it higher or lower than to the left when it started? It's lower, right? So that's a downtrend on the 4 hour chart. That's how I do it. And I'm smart, so you should probably follow me. On the daily, is it higher or lower than when we started? I think I'll circle it right around there. I think my screen is a curved screen, so I don't know exactly where. Is it higher or lower than that circle? You can see the circle a little bit. Is it higher or lower than that on the daily? It's lower, right? Lower still, yeah. So the 4 hour and the daily are a downtrend. The weekly, I don't even need to circle the weekly. It's stupid how easy the weekly is to read. Is the weekly an uptrend or a downtrend? Is it an uptrend or a downtrend on the weekly? Uptrend, right? Where would it have to go in order for it to be a downtrend on the weekly? To me, it would have to go to where that circle is to the left, and it would have to go down to 1450. In order for it to change trend direction on the weekly, for me, it would have to go down to 1450 where that circle is, right? It would have to go down to that area there. So that's a long ways away. So on the weekly, it's an uptrend. Pretty simple. And on the monthly, what is it? Circle it right here. Circle it somewhere right around in here. On the monthly, what is it? Oops, sorry. What is it on the monthly? It's up. So you have the weekly and the monthly. You have a higher time frame is up. What else factors into why we would want to buy? I've been talking to you guys about this in the gold room. What's happening in the United States right now? What would be another reason why fundamentally we think that gold is bullish? What would be another reason? We're back to the 1 hour chart on this, by the way. What would be another fundamental reason? Debt? Yeah. We're about to spend another $4 trillion in the United States we don't have. And what will it do to the value of the dollar when we start printing more money? What does it do to the value of the dollar? What does it do to the value of the dollar? It weakens it, right? I use this analogy all the time. The definition of inflation, right, is more money chasing after the same amount of products. Does that make sense to everybody? The definition of inflation is more money chasing after the same amount of products. When I built my office on the side of the house here, inflation will not kick the dollar up. That's insane. Whoever told you that, you need to take Econ 101. Inflation will not drive the dollar up. That's completely wrong. Okay, when I built this office on the side of my house, a thing of sheetrock, one thing of sheetrock was $20 a sheet. Now it's $70 a sheet because we keep putting money into the economy, printing money, and all the goods are going up. Gas prices, all these things are going up because people know they can charge more because there's more money in the market. Whoever told you that inflation will kick the dollar up, you need to take Econ 101. I mean, we learned that in 9th grade. It was like one of the first things you learned in Econ 101, that dollar gets weaker the more money you print. It doesn't get stronger. Like if you wanted to make the dollar stronger, you would take money out of the economy, so the value of your dollar would go up. That might be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life, that you think that inflation will kick the dollar up. You need to take Econ 101, but I mean that's basic Econ 101. That's 9th grade Econ. It's not difficult. So you need to take Econ 101 to understand how the markets work and understand how the economy works, because that's just like amateur hour stuff. Inflation does not kick the dollar up. Whoever told you that, you should go smack them in the head right now because they're stupid. Okay? All right, we've dealt with that. That's just dumb. Really dumb. I don't like doing classes anymore. I used to do them all the time, and I don't like it. I don't like YouTube streaming, to be honest with you. People tell me I'm just too bold. I'm too blunt, I'm too rude, but I always tell people the markets don't give a damn about your feelings, so why should any of us give a damn? If you can't handle me on the internet making fun of you, then how the hell are you ever going to handle the markets? Because these markets will chew you up. These markets will chew you up, spit you out, and laugh at you. They don't give a damn about your feelings. The markets could give two flying fucks about your feelings. So I always like it when people say, you're too harsh, well, do you think the markets give a damn? No, they don't. The sooner you grow some balls and grow some thicker skin, the better it'll be for you, the better it'll be for everybody. So grow some balls. If you haven't had your balls drop, let your balls drop, because nobody cares about your feelings. Check your feelings at the door. Okay, so again, we want it to break above here, 1764.32 by a decent amount, pull back to 1764.32, and then we trade it up to 1781, 1782. Yes, I've been doing that, Will, for 17 years. Now, if we want to sell, right, if we want to sell gold, because we still can sell gold if we get the pattern to sell gold, we could sell gold if we start getting rejection, right? So if it just starts nilling around here and it starts coming down, right, it doesn't go up, then goes down, pulls back to 1764 for the sell side, then we can sell it down to 1748 and 1741 if we get the sell signal, right? And the sell signal is what? What did we say the sell signal was? the exact opposite of the buy signal, right? A sell signal is a wick at the top, like this one right here that I'll highlight. A wick at the top with no tail. Yes, Will, I do. I do. Right there. That would be a perfect sell signal. You have a wick at the top of that, longer than the body of the candle, right? Long wick at the top with no tail at the bottom. You can sell that. Yep. So does anybody want to see history of success? Because I've been telling these people in the gold chat room that you shouldn't pay attention to anybody. There's a couple people in there right now, and you shouldn't pay attention to any of them who can't show a history of success. Does anybody want to see a history of success? What success looks like, trading wise? I know it's difficult for some people because they don't know what trading looks like, successful trading looks like. What does that look like to you? What does that look like? That's, I think it's 30 days or 90 days, whatever. It's one of the two. I think it might be 90 days on that account. What does that look like? So if it was a demo account, right, you couldn't deposit money and you couldn't withdraw money. Despite what people say, you can't withdraw money from demo accounts. So what does that look like? What does that look like? What does that look like? Does that look like successful trading? Deposits of 2,300, withdrawals of 3,700, and profits of 1,359. I would say that that's pretty good, right? Say that's pretty good, right? Because again, you can't withdraw from demo accounts. What does this look like right here? What does that look like? What does that one look like right there? Does that look like withdrawal history in Bitcoin from brokerages actually withdrawing money out? Does that look like that's what that is? Is that what that looks like? Is that what that looks like? These are all in the last 30 days, I think. 45 days. Is that what that looks like? That's called success. That's what success means. So when I talk in the gold room about people showing, you know, they start saying signals, they start doing this, and I'm like, well, just show us 90 days of history, show us 90 days of success, and we'll all follow you. And of course they can't, right? Why can't they? Because they don't have it, right? So if you can't show a history of success, then what the hell are we doing, right? If we can't show a history of success, then you shouldn't be in gold chat rooms telling people to buy or sell, should you? Should you be doing that? No, probably not. Probably shouldn't be doing that if you can't show a history of success. I don't know, just me. All right, so we know what we want to do on gold. Let's go to the pound Aussie real quick. What did I do on the pound Aussie? No, I don't, Troy. It just depends on if I feel like I'm going to swing trade that trade or if I'm going to just single trade it. I had the pattern on the pound Aussie 33 minutes ago. I took the trade on the pound Aussie because my pattern dictated that I took the trade, right? And I know my pattern over the long run. Some weeks it's different, but over the long run, my pattern is going to be right 85% of the time. So if I know I'm going to be right 85% of the time, should I take the trade? Yes or no? Knowing that I'm going to be right 85% of the time, should I take the trade? Yes or no? Yes, no, maybe so. If I know over the long run I'm going to be right 85% of the time, do I take the trade? Of course. Of course you do. You're a robot at that point, right? You don't have to think about anything else. When I was teaching classes, I'd have people say to me all the time, well, the pattern's there, should we do it? What do you think? What do you think? You're a robot at that point. You're a robot at that point. You take the trade because the numbers say to take it, and you're going to lose 15% of the time, and that's okay. But you're an effing robot at that point. No emotions, no nothing. Now, if you wanted to treat that as a one trade, you're going to have your stops below the tail, right? And obviously you don't want it right at the tail because you want to give it a little bit more time to breathe. So you want to have it a little bit below there. And I also have a support level at 86.06. So my stop loss on this is down at 85.80. So my stop loss is 70 pips. Because I don't want to have it come down in here and test this wick again, this tail again, and then go up, or test this major support level at 86.06, right? So I'm going to give it a little bit of time to breathe between those two levels, right? Because I'm not a pussy. I don't have 10 pip stop losses because I'm not a pussy. I don't scalp because I'm not a pussy. I have balls. I have man balls. So, but I want my stops below that tail, and then I also want my stops, if I see a major support level like I do at 86.06, I want my stop below there. It's pretty simple, though. I take the trade because the numbers say to take it. Okay, and if we do hit on this trade, then we're going to look for our first target area is just going to be your next major resistance level, right? Your first target is going to be your next major resistance, which would be at 86.97 right there from the other day. So my first target, all you're doing is you're trading in between levels, right? You're trading between this 86.06 level and this 86.97 level. So your first target on your buys would be here at this next level. At that point, you'd place your stops in profit. You wouldn't get out of the trade because what if it wants to come and do this, right? So I'm not going to get out of the trade per se. I'm just going to place my stops at break even or whatever. Okay, so if I get up to that level, I'm going to place my stops at break even or in profit. But I'm not going to get out of the trade because I want to see if I can get a better move than that. But we'll see. And if I lose, I lose. I'm okay with losing 15% of the time. Right? And I tell you guys all the time, I'm married. I'm wrong all the time. Right? When you're a guy and you're married, you learn two phrases. You're right and I'm sorry. Because you're always wrong. Your wife's always right. That's just the way it goes. So, all right. So on the Aussie, we're looking to get it up to 87 again, possibly. And we'll see what happens there. But it can absolutely still go down. So, but the pattern told me to do it, so I did it. On the GJ, now we're looking for, if we want to buy on the GJ, we want a retracement down to 150.31, right there. And then we want the pattern, the buy pattern. Then we can trade it up to 151.06. Area would be our first target. Conversely, if it wants to sell, it would either have to come up here to that 151.06 level and then give me the rejection pattern, or it can just start coming down, pull back, and then I can sell. It's really, really simple. Not difficult, not hard to understand, but it is apparently hard for people to understand. I don't know why, but people are stupid. So I don't know what to say about that. People are dumb. Our society is getting dumber and dumber by the day. Okay, pretty simple though. Easy trading. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, whatever the hell you want to say. No issues. The only issues is this stupid shoe fly that keeps coming in my face. All right, does that make sense to everybody? Is it pretty easy? Pretty easy? To me it is. But maybe I'm not too bright. I don't know. You tell me. Pretty easy trading to me. Is there any questions before I take off? Because I'm going to take off. It's the slow time of day. Remember, the week just started. You don't have to be in a gazillion trades at this time. Pace yourself, right? Leave some powder dry, just in case you want to do more. It is easier said than done, you're right. That's why Jarvis is supposed to do all that for you, right? Because Jarvis takes the emotions out of it, and we're working on that. But that's why Jarvis is supposed to do that for you. Month just started, yeah. We got plenty of time. But once Jarvis is really rolling, then you won't have to take trades at all, Troy. Jarvis will just do it for you and take your trades, place your stop loss, and do everything. Because the human mind is the one that messes with trades. Jarvis is just a computer algorithm. Jarvis doesn't have any emotions. Trust me, man. Trust me. It's. I know you think it's fun to do it on your own, but one day you'll realize that it doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as you do it. So, but if you want to learn to do it on your own, I just gave you the tutorial right there. It's that simple. It's that simple. Pretty simple. All right, everybody. Well, I think I'm going to take off because it's Sunday and spend some time with the fam, watch some more football. And there's really nothing to do at this point. So that's kind of the baseline for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. and we'll talk to you again soon.